right, everybody. Welcome. Hope you're here to draw. We got a few joined us already. We have a special guest tonight. I'll get to that in a minute. But just a reminder that big visual arts passage is hanging out there. That's who brings this drawing hive to you. What we do as an educational program is we mentor people to develop careers in illustration and in painting, especially a gallery approach. So check us out. We'll probably talk about it a little bit later. Tonight, we got some really great reference tonight, and it's going to be fun. I'm a little off balance tonight because I'm kind of moving stuff around. I'm going to be in a different location. Somebody else is going to be drawing in my spot, and it's a cool thing. So our subject tonight is 28 years later. We got some fantastic reference. Timmy, I'm glad you chose that one. I was unsure at the beginning, but
Oh yeah.
it's a cool photo.
It
Great
is a cool
action.
photo.
But I'm loving this thing.
Oh, yeah, I gotta paint that.
I just love it. And then, and it's really appropriate for my guest I'm going to introduce here in just a second. Um, killer reference.
Yeah.
And
Got
again, we do three poses, 220. We give you an option, two 20-minute poses and one 40-minute pose. And we give you an option of four pieces of reference. You can do them all. You can focus on one. If you're doing push-ups and sit-ups, try to get as many done as you can. Just work on, the act and building your strength as a drawer. Um, Tonight, one of my best friends on the planet, perfect subject matter, had a zombie ready to go. Actually, a zombie he did at the Illustration Academy. And George is a phenomenal graphic novelist, Eisner Award winning comic artist, and a great drawer and painter. Um, he'll be here to say hi in just a second, but he
I
had
was gonna say, where is George?
He's not here right this moment. He'll be right back.
All
But
his roadies showed up. I can see in the attendee list.
yeah, just a little plug for George. Go to his website. These are some really great they're small books, but they're just beautiful work. Check them out. Just absolutely amazing. So we are ready to draw. My camera is going to be kind of quiet here for a minute
All right.
till George walks back.
Yeah, all right,
But
everybody.
you can switch us around, do whatever we need to do.
Yeah, everybody. If this is your first time joining us, please draw along. That's what makes this fun. I'll drop a link to the reference in a second. But please share your art with us throughout the night. You can post it to Instagram and in your caption at hashtag drawing hive, hashtag drawing hive 255. That's episode 255. And then tag at Visual Arts Passage. We're going to check it out at the end of the episode on the live stream. So please do it. All right, let's go.
Okay. Got a interesting setup here. George is doing something completely different, and I'm excited to watch him do it. I'm going to draw along on the other side of the room, but
That was amazing. George was in the room, and then at 5:59, he's like, "I gotta go."
yeah.
I gotta go.
Dealing with George Pratt.
You missed your whole intro, George. Oh, George. Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta see you, man.
All right.
Man,
There he
we
is.
like a whole.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Hey.
Here we
I
go.
was asleep until just a little while ago.
Did you go take like a micro nap before the?
Yeah, like
Power nap.
since we saw you at lunch.
Yeah.
Man,
Little
So,
Snorlax.
uh, so I'm going to go ahead and change cameras here. And you're going to see a white piece of paper in just a second. Oh, put your
All right.
hand up there.
Nice. All
There
right,
we
now
go.
George, get to work.
All right.
It'll
It will adjust.
it'll come into focus as soon as George does something.
Okay, Georgie. There you go.
It's gonna, I mean, it'll keep going on focus until you draw something, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just I need to focus on
Like-
my paper.
That's how it works. Scott, what do you cool. When did you start working on this?
Probably just 20 minutes ago. I just wanted to get a start on the drawing because I'm the
Uh,
slow
the-
one
no,
of the group.
no,
So
no, yes.
I couldn't
Hey,
resist this reference that it feels like I'm
yeah,
drawing an Egon Sheila zombie.
No,
Yeah.
no, to make this
nice.
bigger.
George, John, when you guys are having your side conversations, it's all we hear. Um, it's not great for radio.
Testing, testing.
Yeah. Um, Cassandra, what have you been
Oh,
up to?
I'm painting on
You had a,
cardboard.
you had a
Truly busy.
busy day today? You racing?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely busy. But I thought it'd be fun to paint this zombie, so I had to pull out the cardboard for that.
I'm excited for this movie.
Oh
It,
yeah. So you're like into, I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, 28 days later, I saw it in theaters when I was like in sixth grade or something, seventh grade. It was so much fun. It was so cool too, because it was like an art house movie then. Like it wasn't like not a lot of people knew about it. It was kind of a sleeper movie, I think. Um, and it was so scary. The sequel was pretty meh, but I think everybody got hugely let down by The Last of Us this year. And I'm hoping that this will be like the zombie, it'll make up for it in zombie culture. I don't know. Yeah. Do you guys care about it at all? Any interest?
I haven't seen him. I like the whole thing always just gets me really stressed out.
I mean, it was my introduction to Killian Murphy
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
he's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Which the zombie that John chose that was in the trailer was quite a bit. It almost seemed like they did it purposefully, um, because people freaked out because they were like, "Oh, it's supposed to be Killian Murphy,"
I did hear that.
and
I
they
did
had to
hear
like come out and be like, "No, it's not Killian Murphy. It's not supposed to be Killian Murphy." Yeah, they kind of confused people a bit, which it's kind of an error, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, that's something an art director would have been like, this guy looks way too much like Killian Murphy. We can't do that.
that. But maybe they wanted that because, it gives extra talk and more views of the clip.
Totally. It could have been intentional,
You like they'll come out and say, "No, we
but
didn't
then why
intend
did
that."
they,
But
I guess
secretly they're like, "Yep."
I guess they should have not then said anything when people got upset. Do you know what I mean? That's what made me think it wasn't intentional, was that they addressed it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, it works in their favor. People are like, "Oh my God." But I I find it interesting that there are these like internet sleuths that, I mean, I don't know. When it gets to like the superhero stuff, they go nuts on the trailers.
Totally. They like spend an hour breaking down a
Yeah,
minute trailer.
yeah. George, what are
George,
you
I was just
doing
gonna
over
say,
there,
George, what are
George?
you
This
working
is
with?
cool.
I'm working with a putty knife. So, it's gonna be pretty ugly.
And awesome.
Yeah.
About that.
George, are you using paint or using tar?
Uh, burnt umber acrylic.
Okay.
We didn't have any black.
Oh
Uh,
no.
We did
So were
have
you
black.
were
we
would you
didn't have
have
enough
preferred?
black.
I was gonna say, would you have preferred that or?
Yeah, well, it's what I've worked with before when I was
Yeah.
doing the African genocide stuff way back.
What was that? Could you elaborate on that
The
project?
African genocide. Well, it was a project that I was international project where I was flown to Germany to work with a bunch of different artists. I was the American guy, and it was I don't know if you know Daniel Zezelj, who I think is just one of the best storytellers around.
Yeah.
And Stefano Ricci, um,
Nick Klein was that right?
yeah, Nick Klein. Um, Man, I don't remember everybody's name. It's but
Yeah.
it was really
What
cool.
was the purpose of the project?
Well, it was all about the West African genocide, the Charles Taylor Wars,
Uh-huh.
and uh, and it was God, it was just horrible stuff, and it was
Was it like a show or what was I
no, it was
guess.
gonna be a graphic novel
Mhm.
based on a book that Wolf Bovig, who is a photojournalist who was there for all this stuff,
Mhm.
and the writer who Pedro. See, it's been years now, but
Yeah.
um, and they were in Liberia, and there was no power, no
Yeah.
running water. Um, they were there. They had a room together in a bordello, and they were in order to shower and stuff. They didn't even shower. They had to take bucket baths, and it was just this horrible killing going on all
Mhm.
over the place. It was just brutal. And they flew in the priest, Father Garrick, who was there at the time, and he every morning would come out and tell us about the stuff that he saw.
Oh,
And it was brutal. And so then we were each given a section of their original book, which was called Black Light, to illustrate. And I had the one about
Mhm.
it was about the two. It really was heavy on the two uh, reporters, the photojournalist,
Mhm.
them,
Right.
and yeah, just and so I went there with, I was going to do my usual stuff, which is like brushwork and pen and ink and, oils and whatnot. And then Zezels is there, and he hooks up
Mhm.
he put up a piece of plywood that he drilled into the wall in this hotel conference room, and he used brayers to do paintings, but he did just a few strokes at a time, and then he had a camera set up, and he would take still shots, and he basically created an animation. But it was the use of the rollers, which I had always used rollers, but it was just for printmaking,
Mhm.
and it never occurred to me to use them for you know, straight up drawing and stuff. And so I was like, oh man, you know, I've got to come up with something other than just what I do. And so, watching John's dad, watching Mark English use putty knives, I told him, I was like, hey, take me to the hardware store and let me get some putty knives. And so they did. And I just started doing these black and white acrylic things, and it was fun because there's no way to really control this thing, right? It's it's so clumsy and it's unforgiving, and I guess I can get rid of the tape. And and it forced me to like be really abstract in a way, and it was really cool to me because it looked like that they almost like cave drawings.
Mhm.
mm,
And it was really fun. And so I started some oil paintings the same way, and that's so. But then later I started. Once I got back home, I did. I forget how many pieces. Because I went from that place in Erlangen to the academy, and at the academy I did some putty knife drawings, and then I went and bought some brayers and started playing with the brayer stuff. And man, it was just so fun and exhilarating between this and the brayers. And they had said, "Oh, you got tons of time. It's not until whatever. I forget what time that was when I got to the academy. But it turns out they sent me this email. Oh, look, we need this. We need all yours by the end of the month." I'm like, "What?"
oh my gosh.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was this thing where I was starting classes, and so I didn't do any layouts or any thumbnails. I had a bunch of students come over, and I did I just shot a bunch of really weird reference, and then I just like went straight with the rollers and stuff and bang those things out. I mean, I was like doing them as class demos and stuff like that. And I forget how many pieces I did. I think I got something like 15 of those in the society that year
Holy
as a
smokes.
Wow.
project. But it was
Society of Illustrators.
yeah. And but it was like, man, talk about nervous, you know. Then the project, the book never came out. They couldn't find uh enough people, I guess, to support it, or but even though it won awards just on the
Yeah.
face of it.
That's
But
wild.
yeah, so the
Those are
stuff
tough.
published.
Those are really difficult projects to publish. I I
I don't
worked
know
on,
why they didn't do a
yeah,
Kickstarter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. I worked on a documentary film in like 2012. I just worked on distribution and like post production for it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so long ago because it wasn't my project. This is like one of the first things I ever worked on. Um, I'm trying to remember it. But it was you know, really, it was a filmmaker I worked with named Sky Fitzgerald. He's since gone on to be nominated for 3 Academy Awards. It's crazy. I shared
Wow.
like an office with him when I was like 20. But he did 2 film projects. One was he would be like in Cambodia, I believe, and he was filming individuals who would dig up mines
Oh,
and then dismantle them to sell the scrap metal.
oh wow.
Yeah, terribly dangerous. Um, looking back on it now, because he had a kid, and the fact that he was crawling down in these holes with these guys digging up, I think about it now, and I think not as
Man,
cool as when I remember it when I was 20. More of like, what were you doing, man?
Hmm.
You have a family, like that's terrifying.
yeah.
You
Wow.
know, and then he had another project that was similarly dark and really troubling. And it actually, the film made it on Oprah's, like, what's Oprah's thing? The list of things Oprah loves.
Yeah.
Um, and so they wanted to make it into an American film. And people were just like, no one would touch it.
Wow.
It was just really, I think it was just really hard to, you know,
Yeah.
harsh subject meeting the commercial world is a pretty, that's a tough bridge to cross, I think.
Yeah. And
Which is unfortunate. I mean, but then every once in a while you see a really cool organization that like figures out a way to make it work, you know?
yeah. Well, I wish they had been able to. It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some in the Kickstarter buff.
Nice. So you're able to, yeah, include, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's good. Everybody, just by the way, I opened up the chat a little late. So if you want to say hey, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you're one of George Pratt's roadies. If you're new here, um, we got some cool people on the panel. If you show, we had a lot of late people today. So we got Scott Anderson, Cassandra Kim, Adam Gustafson. Where you see John English's screen, I'm going to update it. It's actually George Pratt. That is not John English tonight, which is exciting. I'll get that done for you, George.
Get what done?
No, don't worry about
Well,
it. All right. George, when did you meet John and Mark?
oh man.
John and Mark English. Yeah.
Greg Spolanka, the Academy was being done, which I didn't know, but they were holding it in Richmond.
I
And
was at that one.
you were there?
Hmm.
Oh wow. And I was living in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and Greg called up, "Hey man, I'm going to be in your neighborhood." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, you ought to come. It's the Illustration Academy." And I had heard of the Academy, And I was like, man, I would love to just see that in action, you know. And he goes, oh man, you got to come down. He goes, let me talk to John. And so he did, and yeah, so I went up there and had a blast meeting me, you know. And Mark was, you know, I mean, he's one of the gods, you know. And like from when I was in art school, he was like, you know, he was like the top tier of him, Gary Kelly, Brad Holland, you know, all those guys. And so I was like, man, I was jazzed. I really wanted to see, you know, see that whole thing in action. And so got up there, and Greg told me to bring, you know, I don't know, John, did y'all ask me to bring slides or whatever?
Wait, you came back. You
Okay.
left. You came back.
Oh,
Remember?
okay. No, I don't remember. And man, watching the you guys do the academy drawing, like you had me take over the drawing, and I had y'all doing the five, you know, we started, did we do the 5 second gestures and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was fun. And
What are the 5 second gestures? You want to?
they're 5 second gestures.
Literally, you have
Oh,
5
I know,
seconds
but
to get a
like
figure out.
pretend. Yeah, I'm just saying. You
Run
know, I'm trying to help the audience out,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, it was like I have my classes do it, and it's yeah, 5 seconds. You can't get anything done in 5 seconds. So it's like I push this idea of cookie cutters, you know, like you're making cookie cutters. And but to get out of your head, you know, to stop being so anal and analytical, you know. And then I move it up like, okay, now let's do 10 seconds, but you're still drawing at a 5 second pace and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. And so, and then we went to lunch or dinner, John, first. I don't remember. And just John and I, it was like I'd found like a long lost brother. We just hit it off, man. We had so much fun. And and y'all got me a room, and so I could crash and all that, and it was just like I had a new family. It was awesome. So yeah.
Wow. Man, so
It
you
was
guys know each
really
other.
cool.
It's a long time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
All right,
And then
Adam.
I've been there ever since, you know.
That's great. Adam, what are you working with tonight?
I'm
Going around
working
this
with
morning.
that Krita color sanguine lead in a lead holder
Yeah.
thing, and then a 14B Faber-Castell matte graphite pencil.
Nice. You gonna give us like a children's book version of 28 Years Later?
As-
Love that. Something, a zombie book for the kids.
I'm looking at the reference going, well, you know, no one's paid me to paint this much blood since White Fang.
Yeah. Man, I was going through a lot of, for your children's book class, I was going through all the White Fang art and I was like, this is
That was pretty brutal. I was
yeah,
going through this like, whoa, you know, everyone, you know, and I was like, I'll tell you what, my inner 9-year-old was never so happy.
Oh yeah. Well,
Paint
there's
like
that
just
one
mauling
drawing of the guy kicking the dog, and I was like, whoa.
Yes.
I was like, I for sure thought that was gonna that would have gotten cut.
Yeah. Jack London, some rough stuff. And
Yeah.
that was for
But
teaching English
I
as a
love
second
that,
language.
I love that they
That was
kept
one
it.
of my favorite books as a kid, man. Golly.
So when you illustrated that, was it the original writing, or was it like re-edited for a picture book?
No, because it wasn't really a picture. It was actually re-edited for English as a second language.
I see.
Oh, okay.
So
So
it was
simplified.
the audience was entirely, it was published in South Korea as part of a reading program to teach English.
Really?
And so it was slightly, the language was slightly simplified for that.
Okay.
But everything in it was still in it.
That's fascinating. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and so the deal was, and so that's why there's so many pictures. It needed an illustration for every page of text.
Oh,
So it was
Wow.
text, picture, text, picture, text, picture.
so was that like 100+ images?
It was 186
Wow.
in a
Wow.
year.
Dang, Adam.
So it was every month another 5 chapters would be released into the reading program.
That's fat. I've never heard of that. My wife has a master's in ESL. Um, I need that for books.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like, at what pace were you going, Adam? And how
Yeah.
were you at the end of it?
um I was not myself at the end of it. I was a version of myself that could almost paint a little better.
Yeah.
But conversations were difficult.
Did you do it sequentially? Did you go through the whole thing in order?
Yeah, basically it was like I think, let's see, it started in like August maybe, or September or something. And so it was like, all right, 5 chapters, so 20 to 25 drawings were due at the end of the first week. And then I had the next 3 weeks to do the 20 to 25 paintings. And then I had to read the next 5 chapters and had a week to do those 20 to 25 sketches. And then 3 weeks to do those 20 to 25 paintings. And it just, that was what my year was. Except I was also like teaching 3 classes in 2 different colleges.
Of course you were. Of course you were.
How many was that a while back, or was it fairly recent?
It was, now I'm gonna say, all right, you know what? I know it was 2013. 2012 or 2013, because the way I remember it was like in 2014 my health insurance got cheaper, but the year I did that, those 186 paintings paid for my health insurance.
Oh, wow.
Then I basically had to start making an income from there.
So, but you had some years under your belt though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think I'd already been in like doing book work for maybe, I guess, like 15 years at that point.
Yeah. Someone said Adam makes everyone in the world seem lazy. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
you know, but it sounds like that. But there are plenty of times that I actually just sit there and I just stare.
Yeah, right after you finish your 180
Something
million
like,
drawing, you just stare out the window.
well, you know, the thing with taking on a project like that too is
Yeah.
most of the time you find yourself thinking like, boy, you know, if there had been 50 of these in a year, I would probably be a better illustrator.
Yeah. When you're done drawing, does your wife just come in and turn the chair to the window so you can look out it?
But
He likes to look out the window when he's done drawing.
yeah, it was like I did that. I did I did all those paintings at my dining room table just so I could see my family.
Okay. No, that's, you know
I
what?
couldn't
That's
really interact, but I could at least see them in the other room.
like, really, like you did it in a public space, so you weren't like walled off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
The chains kept getting in the way, though.
That was, it was like the kid would like slip, you know, trip on the manacle, and
Yeah.
How old were your kids?
10 and, were they 10 and 12 or 8 and 10? I think 8 and 10 maybe.
Okay, because like my kids are always like, "Can I draw on your painting? Can I on that?" So
Right.
like they come over, there's dabs on everything, but I imagine at that pace, you're just like, no, 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 no.
Right. Yeah. There are picture book projects that my children definitely painted in large areas of like negative space, and but that one was
Have you guys ever had like a nightmare situation where one of your kids destroyed something on accident?
Never destroyed.
yeah, no, mine have always, you know, Denise was really great about like helping me set up the culture of the house.
The culture.
I know lots of,
Culture.
like,
Referring to your
there are lots of creative people whose like spouses don't
Yeah.
quite get it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they love them, they support them, but they don't quite understand the, like, there's this other universe you suddenly have to disappear into every now and then.
Yeah.
And so she was really good at, she was more strict than I was about my studio being off limits unless I invited someone up.
Nice. I love referring to your house as the culture of it.
Yeah.
Like you work at an ad agent, like your house is an ad
Like that feels
agency.
like an HR terminology
I
for
know, I know,
discussing
but
the
it really
rules.
kind of is, because I would visit other friends who had, say, like a recording studio in their house, and they'd be like doing
Yeah.
overdubs on something, and someone just wander in and smash their hands down on a keyboard. I'd just be a little bit
Oh, but
like,
they've got it way harder. The
yeah,
buttons.
but I would just be kind of like,
Yeah.
you should your I know you want to be fun, but shouldn't they learn to respect what you do too?
I don't know, Adam. Asking a kid not to touch buttons and knobs.
I
Yeah,
know,
you're
I
just
know.
asking for it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I get the pen and a paper.
Yeah,
That's a reasonable request,
right,
but
right.
that would have never, yeah.
Well, that's the
If
thing, because I'm also surrounded by musical instruments up here, like,
there you go.
and
Yeah.
and stupid stuff. Like I've got a 2 foot tall big ceramic pig licking his hooves next to me too.
If I am just like holding a can, I will just like idly destroy it. And I think that's from my child. Like I will tear up if I have a piece of paper, I will tear it up. Like that's definitely from my
Yeah,
childhood.
no, you don't. If I'm at a party, I can always tell which, if someone, I sat down to drink and I can always tell which one is mine because it's the one where the label is just like shredded.
Oh, I always have to peel it
Or-
and then fold it up into like funny
Oh,
diamonds or whatever.
Yeah.
you know what I'm the worst at? And somebody recently told me this. They were like, bartenders hate you for that. Is I destroy uh paper coasters.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I do that too.
Shred them. I don't even think about it.
No. No.
I touch it and then I just start tearing it apart.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Raymond here and he's
Hey,
working
Ray.
with
Hey, Ray.
one of the
Right.
poor souls that are trapped in his computer. What are you do? What are you doing, Ray?
Ray, are you
Well,
conjuring today?
Yeah.
I'm conjuring something. But I'm more shocked that George Pratt figured out the combination to get in here. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, man.
All he had to do is fly to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can't take over John's camera.
Yeah.
It's a manual, it's an IRL manual hack.
Yeah, that might be my only option eventually.
We didn't have any IRL firewalls.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is you got a fancy new software you're playing with? What's going on?
Oh no, this thing is it's
this old thing?
this thing is called Character Creator.
Yeah.
It's a program a lot of mostly like game people use and concept artists
Yeah.
use. Yeah, so you could quickly post things, and it's kind of like a really if anybody's ever heard of Daz Studio?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
I'm not hip to the terms.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's basically like a fancier version of that.
Yeah, so you bought
That's
this.
all.
I'm not assuming you bought it, but like, is this part of a pack that you got this character you're manipulating?
No, it comes with the I brought like morphs for it.
Yeah,
So it just comes with the fully rigged character. I'm gonna get into Blender and stuff and
sweet.
have some fun. I saw the reference for some zombies and
Yeah,
yeah,
can't resist
we'll
it.
see. This might be a complete utter waste of time though. Like most things in 3D, you don't know until it's too late. So
Until it's too late. Scott, I've been meaning to ask you, what are you working with tonight?
So the good folks at ArtX, at least I think that's how it's pronounced, sent me
Say it
this.
one more time because your audio cut out, and they would be so mad if
It did not come out right.
ArtX is my best guess as how it's pronounced. Anyway, they sent me 2 sets. They sent me this. I think this is the 36 color, just like a sorted color set, and these particular markers. I'm using this one right now. You have to shake them a little bit, so you can maybe, I don't know if my microphone's picking that up, but like there's a little ball bearing in there. You shake them first, and then they also sent me a like skin tones set of 30 colors as well. And these
Ooh.
are it's like a slightly different product line. These you don't have to shake at all. You just got to keep them basically heads down, like you're supposed to store them
Yeah.
vertically. But these are amazing paint markers. I'm really, really having a lot of fun with them. They flow really easily. They've got a slight translucency at first, and then if you want like total opacity, just keep building layers and it'll eventually build up. So I just decided it's time to take them for a test run and make a
Fun.
mess and see what happens.
That's super
I
cool,
love
Pat.
I love that you
Wow.
went the tones you're going with are really fun.
Hmm.
Well, that's partly out of necessity because, I've only got so many colors here to work with, so having to do some color invention, but that's part of the
Yeah.
fun of the challenge.
All
And
right.
these are available on Amazon if anybody's interested in trying them out. You can get sets there. You can also Google again the brand name ArtX, ARRTX, and they've got a website where while the markers are manufactured in China, it appears they've got like a U.S. distribution hub, so you can get them pretty easily and quickly
Oh, nice.
straight from the site. So yeah.
That's
So
cool.
if you are somebody who likes paint markers, check them out. The other thing I actually will say I really really love about them, they come with a brush tip. And
Yeah.
previous paint markers I've used, like Molotov and things like that, they're always more of like a bullet tip, like kind of just like a nub.
Yeah.
Posca markers are like that. The fact that this actually has a brush taper to it allows you to kind of like whisk your brush strokes a little bit more, and get a little bit
Yeah.
more variation in stroke. I really like that a lot. That's been a cool aspect to these.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I like how they're going down.
How long have you been
Thanks.
using them now?
So they just sent them to me a couple of weeks ago, and I've just been kind of playing with them in my sketchbook a little bit. And I finally
Nice.
felt like, okay, I think I've gotten the hang of them tonight to go ahead and try them on live international TV here.
What kind
When
of
you're
board are you using?
yeah, when you get a new material like that, someone asked how are they compared to Grabby. We don't compare our our elite sponsors. No. No, Grabby, they're both Arctics and Grabby, just free rides.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
grabbing onto the coattails of Drawing Hive.
If Grabby wants to send me a set of markers so I can do a direct comparison, well,
Right. Or
Ooh,
Right.
let's
I
talk.
like that.
if the
And
and
But
the
you would
if
need to send Cassandra some Ardex markers too.
yeah,
We got
and
to
then
be
we could
fair
really
about
have a
it. So
marker off. That would be fun.
that's it.
I
So
actually like that. I like that idea a lot. And then they can contact me to talk about because I'll be the judge. And they could sway they could maybe do some influencing. Yeah. Um, I was gonna ask though, when you get like a new material and you're having fun with it, at what point do you feel the confidence to take it into like a true project where there's some stakes in place? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
yeah, good question. I mean, with this one, I wanted to have some sense of how I'd approach a piece
Yeah.
because somebody told me once the internet is forever, so I didn't want to completely bomb on something.
The internet is
Um,
forever. Yeah.
so yeah,
Especially Drawing Hive when it doesn't end up in the vault,
Ha.
Oh
that's
my.
right.
which lately they're all making it out the vault. Like no matter what happens, they just go straight to
I
YouTube.
accept my bombs. We let them be live and laugh.
I'm going to tell you guys this right now. It has never gone in the vault ever because of someone's
Nope.
performance. That is that has never been my part of my calculating thoughts on like should this go in the vault. Yeah. Um, Everybody, we should move on to the next image. Please post your work to Instagram with hashtag DrawingHive255, hashtag DrawingHive, and Average Arts Passage. Post it now. Don't wait till the end. We want to see it all, so post it now. Um, John, I don't know what's your setup. Are you ready for your chat?
Almost forgot.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
We can barely hear you
Second to get
wherever
across
you
the
are right
room,
now.
Jimmy. You
Can't hardly hear you at all. Well, now I can't hear him. I don't know what's
At
I'm back.
happening.
all.
I'm back. Hold on.
Okay, cool. There, I mean, there's no rush. I just was, when you're ready, if you're ready,
I,
we can
I
do
guess
this.
I guess I can do it. You're gonna miss George for a little bit.
All right.
George, that's looking so cool.
I'm
Yeah.
saved.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yes, let's slow him down, John. Do like a
Yeah, I'm
3 hour.
gonna slow him
talk
down a
speed.
bit. So, Timmy, any introduction, or am I just going straight in? See, now we lost Timmy.
Right.
Uh,
I just played it. I just played it. Did it not play for you?
No,
Nope.
we didn't hear it,
Nope.
unfortunately.
It's being really finicky.
Oh, I heard it very faintly.
All right, here we go. So, Ray, what's a great artist, somebody that George might be really interested in, that was almost like a war correspondent, studied with a bunch of famous illustrators, was part of a group of famous illustrators. Who would you guess?
Would it possibly be? I was never a war correspondent, but I'm flattered that you would.
no,
Well,
not a
I,
war
about
I know who
me.
correspondent.
this is. I know who it is.
Yeah. No, is it a Harvey Dunn?
There you
Harvey
go.
Dunn.
Yeah.
There
All
he
right.
is. Look at that.
the man, the myth.
So, for the audience, George and Raymond and Scott and Cassandra can probably all fill in. Adam, because we all know about him. Absolutely fantastic painter, born 1884, and
Died 1952.
oh, George, I have a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. He's holding his phone in front of my face, and I can't see anything. He showed like a strong interest in art as a young man, and his family and instructors. He was going to a agricultural school in South Dakota, and they suggested he wander off to Delaware to study at Drexel at the time and study with the great Howard Pyle, and became part of the Brandywine School. So here's some work that actually George pulled these for me. These were probably like on his phone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
In my smug mug account.
I'm gonna go pretty quick because George pulled a lot.
Yeah, John's like, get
Wow.
40 of them. So there's like 75.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move through this stuff pretty quickly. Absolutely unbelievable.
And like those right there, those are charcoal with watercolor, and that's a full sheet of Arches cold press. That's
Oh,
oils. Charcoal and watercolor.
Wow.
Wow.
And he was there, looking at a lot of
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, he had a very special setup that I have a photo of at the end here.
Nice.
Of a
I've seen that
box.
painting in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, I saw that at Christie's auction house. It's incredible.
Did you
in real
buy it?
life. I
Smithsonian.
tried to, but it was already sold.
Oh,
This
That's
is
a
that
big
or a slice of
painting.
pizza.
This thing's incredible.
That's a big painting. More charcoal on cold press with watercolor.
I mean,
That's it.
I stopped and I looked at this today and I was looking at, don't those, I mean, I know there's a big pile of people there, but man, the gesture on him is so good. And
Mhm.
it feels like he had to be there to paint that.
Yeah.
I mean, it just has so much emotion and dirt and grit and reality to it.
And movement.
Wow.
We, a buddy and I had started, it was the same director I worked with on the blues video. We had started a documentary, like filming it, of Dunn, and then it got bigger and became about all the 8 artists that went to the front, but focused on Dunn. And we went to the Smithsonian, and they took us down into the bowels of and pulled out the box that he had, and they had all the rolls from
Oh,
And
Yeah,
they, yeah, and they
explain that a
unfold
little
those
bit.
things.
He had a box that he would draw on. It had rolled up, and he could just keep rolling the paper. It had a roll of paper in it.
Yeah, and it had a window sort of built into the box so he could crank and then attack another window and then crank and and man, they unrolled those things and they were like, I forget, like 10, 15 feet long. And it was
Oh
like
my
we were
God.
just looking at these windows into that time period and it was charcoal, some crayons, and they were in
That
perfect
looks like it
shape.
came out of the box.
No, this was a full sheet of it had been folded.
Oh, I
It's a
see.
full sheet of arches. Though that one too, all those charcoal looking things. The stuff in the box was looser.
I think Gary Kelly looked at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Love that drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gestures.
That
I
one.
love
That
his love
yeah, and
this one
that you
too,
could
the
see
doorway.
Rockwell
Oh,
scoping that thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the weight. Wow.
That's also a big sheet of, and that brown color was like it looked like shellac almost.
Mm.
Wow. Jeez.
I'm
And
running out of
the emotional content that's attached
Yeah. Oh,
puts you right there.
wow.
That thing's killer. Yeah.
Whoops, I didn't put that in the right place. Sorry.
oh man.
So now we're
Yeah.
into his illustrations and stuff. I
I
love
love
that.
that piece. I
Mm.
love that piece.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Right.
Look at the
That kills me.
value control on that.
So good.
How do you make, I mean, look how close in value that
Hmm.
upper body, the top part of that dress, blouse, whatever it is. And then
The
how
cool thing
it,
about that piece is, oh, sorry, John.
I was just gonna say how it separates from that really close value right next to it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like I love how delicately painted the faces
Yeah.
and like the torso and the hands and just how bold everything else is around it. It's such a wonderful control. I've never seen the Wild Scream in person
Oh,
before, but it's like one of the pieces that made me want to be an illustrator.
This piece here.
Yeah. Yep, it was in the NC Wyeth and the Brandywine artist, the stories
mhm.
to
I
tell, I
love
think it's
that
called.
thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one.
And it's like it's interesting because it's almost like he does. I mean, he's got, burn umber or whatever in that, but it's almost like he does a lot of these things almost in black and white and just spots color within it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
George and I were discussing today. I asked George, I said, who came first, like Fetchin or Dunn? I said, do you think that they saw each other? Do you think that they were aware of each other? They were born like less than a year apart,
Yeah.
different parts of the world.
And died
Hmm.
2 or 3 years apart.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And it was amazing. You flip that thing to grayscale and look at the power of just value as opposed to saturation.
Yeah.
That thing's
Yeah.
killer. Look at that bucket.
I love this painting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, when that was
Absolutely love
at
this painting.
Illustration House, that was the one where I swear he had done glazing, and Walt Reed was like, I don't know, I don't think he did. I'm like, man, no way. I bid on
I
that
mean,
thing.
what does Walt know? What does Walt know?
You know,
Yeah, right.
doesn't it? I mean, doesn't the paint application look like Fetchin in there?
Yeah, I bid on that
Yeah.
when it was up for sale at Heritage, and I was putting it on a credit card.
Oh my gosh.
I got up to 5,000. I was like, okay, I'm done. The guy got it for $500 more. I'm like,
No, you were that close.
Oh,
man,
That's brutal.
Look at that.
yeah,
Oh,
I love that.
dang.
he's a freak,
Beautiful.
but he's our freak.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Cornwall was pretty attached to that
Oh man, yeah.
Yes,
and about everything.
love that one.
And the thing is, you see him in print, and when you see the actual paintings, it was, Cornwell's the same way. they're so luminous. And so many of the pieces that were printed in black and white were full color paintings,
Mm-hmm.
and they're mind blowing. Yeah, I feel like that's a black and white painting, but he goes in, and if you look on,
A little blue
there's a
on the
little bit of
scarf.
yellow here, and a little
blue on the
blue.
scarf.
Yeah, red. It's like he just spots it around and it works.
3 primaries. That's all you need.
Red, yellow, blue. Bam.
Look at those pants.
That thing in real life is incredible. It's a
It's
big
Sterling.
painting.
George used his pose. And Sterling was the model.
He was like, shoot the picture, shoot the picture. He was holding a student.
Oh, I love that.
Damn.
Oh man, paint textures amazing.
That's, man, you could see the pile there.
Big time.
Mm.
And that one's
Yeah,
crossed a lot more to it.
who's one of his students said, I don't know if it was an evening in the classroom, that said he had put so much paint on his paintings, some of his paintings, that they were convinced that if it fell off the easel, it would go right through the floor.
Yeah. They've had to do all kinds of stuff on some of the larger works to actually, so they support themselves.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I love this. Look at the drawing here, how confident that stuff is. That's so cool.
No, he just projected that up. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
tell.
Yeah. He had somebody else draw for him.
That's right.
I know Blender when I see it, John. Trust me.
Wow.
You can see Cornwell snagging that big time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
I think I have the Cornwall where he did that.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Okay, well, that's a photo of him modeling for
NC.
NC.
Hmm.
And NC was the best man in his wedding.
Say full name.
They were
so people
both
know
like
what you're talking about.
6'5". They were big guys.
Yeah. Okay, we want to fight that guy.
So he makes a good Viking.
NC Wyeth.
Yeah, thank you, George. Thank you, Ray.
We're nerds.
They're nerds, and they're like, we'll make this kind of educational, but we're going to shorthand it.
So this is the box that we were talking about. And you can see,
I got to hold that thing.
you see how the paper
Smithsonian.
wraps around?
Yeah.
And he could spin it and just move it forward.
It's almost like, yeah, and it had a strap to it where like selling, the old cigarette sellers. Huh?
George, how heavy was it?
It had some weight to it, but it wasn't bad.
nice.
It's not bad when you're carrying all your other gear with you.
Yeah.
And, there's a war going on.
And apparently he did go over the top. That's why he was with the Marines and they loved him for it. They got to pick which branch of the military they went into, and they were made captains overnight. Yeah, and so you can see all his World War I gear here.
all the prints over there. Look at the size of that painting.
Wow.
And that's just a thumbnail sketch.
I'm just envious also of the studio space to do that painting.
Wow. All right. Well, that's our introduction to Harvey Dunn.
Cool.
And George, thank you very much for
Yeah.
supplying the material.
Heck yeah, George.
Yeah.
George, did I send you some of those some of those photos?
No, I've
From the
been
Rockwell
setting
exhibit.
those things up for classes, and then what I wish is I don't know if they sent that because the director I was working, he passed away, and his son has all the material, and because we were shooting 16 millimeter and super high def digital, and the son is cool with me getting it all, but and we've got so much in the can, like it needs just massaging and then editing. And I know Steve interviewed at least a couple of the children of various members of children of the eight. And then I interviewed Walt Reed at Illustration House, and Richard Kelly of the Kelly Collection sent 3 of the large oils over for us to have in the background.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, and then Walt was still, he was friends with Dunn's family, and they overnighted 2 of his war sketchbooks.
Oh my gosh.
It was awesome. And Walt, was a student of Franklin Booth. Like, he actually took
Right.
lessons from him, which is crazy.
Explain who Walt is.
Walt Reed. Well, it was just like a treasure trove of information. He put out the book on Joseph Clement Cole, The Magic Pen of Joseph Clement Cole, and several books on illustration, especially History of Illustration from what date to what date. It's got
Yeah, the
files of
Illustrator in
nation makers.
America.
Yeah, and it's got the nation makers on the cover. Yeah, he was just a font of info. Every time I would go there, he would always go, "Hang on." And he would run in the back and bring out a new Dunn that he got. And I'm like, "Oh, bring it out,"
God.
And that was when they had all the flat files in the front, and you could just come in and start digging through the files. It was awesome.
No way. Wow. I did not see that. They were not in the front when I was there.
Oh man, it was awesome.
They would have, they would have had to escort me out.
Right?
Yeah.
Sooner than they actually did.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Are we supposed to be working on a second one now?
Sure. Whatever you want, George.
Okay. Let me think what I'm gonna.
Yeah, we tend to browbeat the audience into doing lots of stuff, and then we cheat.
Yeah.
That's the way.
It's just because I gave up on enforcement.
Timmy tried buying everybody timers, and then
Hey, I would do all like 3 or 4 poses for like every time for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
No,
the
and
timers.
I have my timer. I have
The
my
ti-
timer. I just need to buy batteries.
The
Okay,
timers
and-
are for classes.
Yeah.
And it was because I got tired of telling people, like, did you run a 4-hour class again? Yeah.
The zombie.
Yeah. Yeah. On the topic of zombies. Looking great.
You had it over here. Oh, here it is. I bet.
Hear everything you guys say over there, George, John. Just a heads up on how this works. Cassandra, that's awesome.
Thanks.
wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at this and just thought it was the funnest
That's
reference.
great.
How could you not wanna?
That's awesome.
Ray, you're still putting your this is a
Yeah.
haunting. This guy has a haunting existence.
We're in Blender, but I'm too busy. I shouldn't have done this. I'm going on through my backlog of images, trying to find parallels to the Dunn and
Yeah.
Cornwell. Like
So you've been digging. I see.
Well, this was actually a Cornwell.
Ooh,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Oh, was it?
Oh wow.
Yeah, but the one that Dunn did was, I think they were on the boat. Do you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
George?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
right,
but Cornwell did one of those too.
I think,
on the
right. And
boat.
so now I'm starting to, starting to confuse myself now. But the one that you showed before with them on like on the bow, or right off the edge with the sea in the background, that's pretty much the same exact lighting scenario
Yeah.
for the most part. I mean, not the same not the same values, but silhouetting
Oh,
the
yeah,
figures
yeah.
in the shadows.
Killer.
Anyway, yeah, Cornwell was done before he was Cornwell, as they always say.
Yeah, Dean was. Oh, they had it was.
Dean was done before, right? Is that was it? Dean was done.
Dean wasn't Cornwell until he was done.
Right.
I like that.
All right, I'll get back on this. Okay.
Scott, whoa, cool.
Ooh.
Thanks. Yeah, I think we're
Wow.
getting some weird reflection. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's looking so
Nice.
fun.
But you can see it. You can really get a good look at it. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Speaking of classic golden age illustrators, I was just talking with some friends just yesterday on a chat about how the latest Heritage Auctions illustration auction. I don't know if any of you guys paid attention to that one, but they had just a killer Cornwell pirate piece, and amazing. They had the Leyendecker piece of workers shoveling coal.
I
That's
always
incredible.
pretend like what it'd be like to buy them when those emails come through.
Yeah, and then they had this amazing Mead Schaefer. Okay, so those were like the three that I was keeping my eye on, just fantasizing about, because like no way I could ever afford any of those. Guys, the Mead Schaefer, which I think for me personally, I'd put in his like top 5 paintings Mead Schaefer ever did, went for $8,750.
What?
Do you have a
That's
shot
all
of
it
it?
went for. What's that?
Do you have a shot of it?
I
I'm
do.
already there.
For those who
Here,
have,
I'll,
we got a lot of listeners who have no idea who you guys are talking about.
yeah, so I'll show it.
Yeah. What did you expect? I mean, I'm sure there are some people that were like, okay, well, what did you even expect it to be? Would love to
Oh,
know.
I just would have thought for sure it would have been in the, tens of thousands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this piece right here, people, just
Wow.
exquisite
man.
brushwork and design, that limited palette of, umbers and a little bit of red as your spot color. Just, it's incredible Mead Schaefer. Just wonderful. The real kind of buttery paint application that he was known for.
Well, I wonder
And
if
yeah,
that's one of
less than
those.
10 grand.
I wonder if that's one of those black and white with red,
Yeah, it could be. But,
Man, that's
but just
awesome.
think, that's hanging in somebody's house right now, and for not nearly as much money as you might have thought. So
Yeah, somebody who had about $9,000 to drop on a thing
not
they could put
panic,
on their
man.
wall. That's a
No,
different
that was
life.
just seeing that price was like where I was like,
Yeah.
wait, if I had known ahead of time that's what it was going to be, maybe there could have been a conversation that could have
Do
happened in
you
my
think?
house. Like,
Yeah.
What
Like,
do you think
kids
the
don't
odds?
need to go to college. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Years ago, Scott Hampton and I went to Illustration House, and they had a Edmund Dulac watercolor from the I can't remember if it was the Rubaiyat or Arabian Nights, one of those, and it wasn't large. It was like about this big. And Scott was like, "Oh my God," he was freaking out, man. And he was like, they wanted 20 grand for it back then. This is like
Mm.
probably late 80s, early 90s at latest.
You
And
guys are gonna hate me for this. Can you please tell us who you're talking about, though?
all right, Edmund Dulac was this incredible children's book illustrator he was in the same breath as like Arthur Rackham, another one
Yeah.
but Rackham was so heavily like linear with it, he black and white with muted colors, where Dulac was had these like jeweled surfaces of watercolor. They're just mind-blowing. And Scott, but we looked at this thing, we got up on it, and you could see some crayon in it, and it was watercolor and this and that. And he apparently used a lot of Chinese white in his stuff. Anyway, Scott was freaking out, and he was like, "Oh my God." He goes, "I have $20,000. He goes, "I could do this." He goes, "My wife will kill me because it's our house money."
Mm.
Oh my God, it was like this Herculean struggle that he was going through not to buy this thing.
He didn't do it, right?
No,
Yeah, that'd be like a dear. What is the Dear Abby or
Dear
whatever?
Abby, my husband
Yeah.
spent
Dear
all
John
our house
letter.
money on a
And
drawing.
I can tell you what the answer would be. Leave him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the article now.
Yeah. Leave. It would be the answer would be so simple. Leave.
Yeah.
Dear Abby.
Simulator. The door will be locked when you get
Don't
home.
wait until the kids go to school. You can leave him now.
She's like, sleep with one eye open, honey.
Yeah. Oh man. No, I'm sorry. I keep asking who these people you're talking about is, but we've got a lot
Yeah,
of, young people here.
sure.
And the most common thing, John and I will do these talks. John will talk, but I'll visit with the schools. We'll be talking with art students, and it's very common. They do not know the artists that even when I started working with John, 8, 10 years ago, there were artists you could go into a college and you could name drop, and they knew all of them. And
Wow.
now it's not a matter of lack of education or lack of interest. It is just like I think the market exploded. There's so many more names. There's so many more like contemporary artists now also that you can like learn about. There's just so much. And so, and I do know that there's also an aspect of like, oh, like there's kind of a sad part of like hearing about these great artists that maybe are being forgotten really quickly. And I'm not saying any specific one is being forgotten, but I could say
Well,
with fair certainty that when we visit these schools, the kids don't know the biggest names. They don't know
and
often.
my students, and
Yeah,
James Martin and I and John Foster,
yeah,
we just sit around and commiserate because they don't. I had a student this last semester who did not know who
yeah,
Rembrandt was.
yeah. But the
Mm,
quickest way to get a person not to care about who Rembrandt is to like 10 times be like, "What do you mean you don't know?"
Right.
right.
It is the
Um,
quickest way. It is the quickest way to get somebody to be like, I'm gonna stop listening to you because you're like your mission is make me feel dumb for what I don't know. And so
no,
let's talk. Let's instead of just be like, what do you mean you don't? It's like just be like, no, here, this is what you know. This is the person you got to know these artists. These are great art. Um, but I think it's just it's a tidal wave of art that they're looking at.
yeah. Well,
That's
I
hard to
didn't even go
compete with.
that far. I just hit them with a board.
Yeah, I bet.
Got to get their
Yeah,
attention
I'm
first.
sure that works.
Yeah.
A mild concussion does wonders. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll
It wa-
remember Rembrandt.
it
Yeah.
makes them forget all the
Yeah.
reels they
Yeah.
watched that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. They might
we
they
need
might
to hit
think they're Rembrandt.
a hard reset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's tricky because I mean, we've even talked about like when we used to market the academy not that long ago, 2016, 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
You could sell the enrollment with the names.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody knows names. Like it's so, and it's not that there aren't artists with big followings. It's just, everything is so segmented. It's really hard to,
Yeah.
um, the most working artists in the world right now, we would say their names in a college illustration class and they would have no idea who they were.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, they don't know who Frazetta is. That
by the way, everybody,
sacrilege.
we're generalizing, but like, because
No.
every once in a while, we would go into a class and like there'd be a girl that was just like freaking out because they knew Mark's work, they knew everybody that used to teach at the illustration cat, and it was like a cool moment. So I don't want to like
Yeah.
I am generalizing
Yeah.
to a
Oh,
degree,
there's
but
always someone who's
yeah,
totally into it, which is great.
yeah,
That's what makes everything worthwhile.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just am always like, well, if you want them to know who it is, it's like, okay, just tell them.
right.
That's how you start
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always sort of I always kind of think like, people, know things they've been exposed to, and if they
Yeah.
haven't, they don't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
shaming them for not being exposed instead of just exposing them.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also,
like
man,
Timmy said, it's not the best way to be listened to in the future.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Well,
but at the same time, to play devil's advocate too is like I remember like when I was in college, I was into all these people, and when I went to the Illustration Academy, it was the first time I was in a room where more than one other person cared who any of them were, and I was an illustration major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we sort of forget that in our generation, we also knew, we knew knuckleheads.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
they didn't stick with us, and so
Yeah.
every now and then I'll have to remember, like I'll have other professors who go like, "Oh my God, these kids they don't know how to draw," and I'll go like, "Neither did everyone I went to college with.
Yeah.
We weren't all geniuses."
Yeah. Ray, I don't even want to know what's going on. That's wild. What are you doing here?
We got a science experiment going on over here.
Yeah. This looks like
Just adding a little quick
You,
background here, and
you
this
don't
looks
have
like
I was
you
thinking,
don't have to create a world,
this is
with
Or do
buildings and
you?
stuff.
yeah, you look like you're doing that. It's like a scene from
too
Inception.
late, too
Yeah.
late. I
Nice.
figure like a bunch of like zombies going after you.
Nice. On the topic of yelling at people because they don't know about something. uh Tonight's episode is sponsored by Visual Arts Passage. If this is your first time joining us, and you're just like, "What is that?" Um, we put on these drawing events every Thursday. It's totally free, but what Visual Arts Passage does um, on the weekdays, our work days, our weekends, everything that we do is all about art mentorship. So we offer online classes that are entirely taught by pro artists. They're totally immersive. They're true mentorships where if your passion is illustration, if it's fine art, if it's visual development, we help you identify the path, the career, the opportunities in those directions, and then we help you figure out what's it going to take to get you to the kind of like the X marks the spot on that map. So our classes are for all skill levels, meaning if you're still learning the process and the craft, we've got classes for that. Um, or if you're one of the more advanced students, which I know Drawing Hive's stacked with advanced students, a big focus of our school is portfolio development. So it's all about building out the portfolio and and then not just alone having your portfolio, but like really knowing what to do with it. Some of the soft skills that go into chasing a career, which believe it or not, sometimes those soft skills are what gets in the way of success for a lot of artists. And just figuring out how to navigate this kind of this jungle. Um, and also, I'd say we tell you, we help you sift through what I would say is like this ocean of information. It's not an archive or a library of classes where you kind of choose a la carte. We really are, we really exist with the purpose of tell us what you want to do. We're going to help you get there with a very curated and custom fit path. So
We
we're
help you
enrolling right now.
navigate it.
What was that?
We help you navigate it.
Yeah, it's a jungle.
Yeah.
So we are enrolling right now. Classes start the weekend of July 12th. That's classes for illustration, for fine arts. If you just go to visualartspassage.com, you can scope out all the classes that are enrolling. Scott Anderson and George Pratt have been frequent guests, frequent, favorite guests. And then Cassandra, Adam, and Ray, regular teachers, really run an awesome class. And yeah, so I'm really excited for this summer. I know we've got a ton of really awesome guest speakers who are going to be coming in the classroom. Some really awesome ones. So I really recommend going to check out the guest speakers on the website. It's visualartspassage.com. If you're considering this as a career, it's doable. I've met too many people who do it day in, day out, and they don't have rich spouses. they, they've made a living out of this. It's, 10 years ago, I really thought, oh, that's a tough route, but I've met and I work with too many people that have really great lives doing what they love. So check it out.
I've always told everyone, if during teaching with the academy and stuff, man, I would have killed for that when I was a student, absolutely. It would have shaved off so much time it took me to learn things on my own because the school wasn't giving it to me. Yeah, I would have been all over it.
Well, and it's so exciting because the great part of the fact that like as getting to work with VAP, we're all working artists and we're all like up to date on what's going, especially in the fine arts. I was completely overwhelmed when I started with galleries, and you know, it took me a while to figure it out, and we can help you kind of skip work on things that aren't important that you think you're supposed to do for galleries and help you really zone in on what matters to get you there. And like one of the things I was most excited about was I do modern Eden's portrait show every year. I've done it like 4 years in a row. And Jo Tomsic, she was one of our students. She's in the show this year. She got in.
Oh,
And so
that's amazing.
I
Nice.
love that I get to show by her side. You know, it's super cool.
That's really cool. How
Yeah.
long did it take for you to have like a show, like where you felt like you had a true show after school?
Oh, well, I, you know, deviated by way of Trader Joe's for
Yeah,
14
kind of
years.
zigged and zagged. Yeah.
And that, you know, once I really developed my style and figured it out, I would say it was a year of work, and then things took off really quick.
Really. Very cool.
Well, and several of our other students have been having some solo shows. I don't know. I'm excited. I think I get us just as excited for them.
Yeah, the gallery program is really cool because I feel like that's a program where um schools at the high level are allowed to be like the most predatory as far
Yeah,
as like,
they didn't,
yeah,
you know, they teach you how to do art, but they don't teach you how your art is a business,
Yeah.
especially with fine arts, and like what you need to do. And
yeah,
just simple things like photographing your art well and shipping it and packaging and
yeah.
how do you finish your painting? Like what kind of paint, like all of that is so cool. And I mean, I love that I get to teach, but I learned still from John and Ray from what they have to teach. It's just it's a wonderful community.
Thanks.
Likewise.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I totally agree with Cassandra. I've learned a ton from both of you, but it's actual people that live their lives, artists that live their lives making art, and that's how they make a living. And there's so many things. I looked at, you know, like the gallery world, and I thought, what's the best way that we can help people that want to get into it? And first of all, it's just demystify how it works. Because, you know, we bring on, like, we have Julie Beck in as a guest speaker. Every semester, we have 6 guest speakers in a 10-week semester. Julie Beck's just a fabulous artist, still life and figurative painter. And it's like everything she said was exactly what we talk about in class. It was like she went through the process of what we go through because there's consistencies, and we're just trying to help people understand how it all works. Of course, there's, you know, you got to be good, you got to mature as an artist, but you got to consider so many other things. So I'm proud of it. I think it works really, really well.
all right, everybody, let's move on to the final image. You've got a solid 25 on this one, maybe 30. Please post your work to Instagram. In the caption, put hashtag drawing hive 255, hashtag drawing hive, and have visual arts passage. Please post it now. Don't wait till the end. We're going to check it all out. Ray, I think you've bitten off a lot.
I got it. I'll pull it
You're
together.
literally building a city, aren't you?
Yeah, this is
I'll
like
pull it
roller
together.
coaster tycoon. What is going on?
Yeah, but it's
I don't
going to be
I'll
like
pull it together.
magic when he's done.
At
I-
this point, it's
Except-
not biting off; it's just chewing. Ray's just chewing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's great to see George with a putty knife and then to see Ray at the same time digitally building a city. Like it's a
Yeah.
great like side by side.
Ray's gonna have the last laugh in the last 5 minutes, and the whole
Yeah.
Oh,
thing
it's
just
gonna
comes
be
together.
epic.
You know,
I'm just saying it's wild to watch happen. I have
I'm
no
having
clue what
I'll
you're
have the
doing.
last cry. I'll have the last cry.
Yeah, when he puts this whole thing on Zillow and sells it for
Yeah.
a city block.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it wasn't
Tell
like
us,
a
'cause we're not gonna get
whole
developers.
city. It wasn't like a whole city. It was like a lot of duplication, actually.
A lot of instancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not even running Blender 4.4. It's 4.3.
I have no clue what that means.
It does. This looks like a
Okay.
trailer for Tron. This is exciting. It
It's like
does.
different sci-fi movies every time I look up.
Yeah, it's fun.
The funny thing is I forgot like certain steps. So I'm like, I don't remember how to do this that I did before. So it's
So you're just,
taking
and
a
when
lot
I have
longer.
you spotlight, you're just like, well, if I just zoom in and zoom out really fast a couple times, people think I'm doing something.
Oh,
We're-
that's cool. So are those like zombies that are there, like that you're making there?
Yeah. No, this is like a procedural, like, oh, there's a zombie that I brought in. Like, I'm gonna do an overpaint, but I have all these people kind of running at him, like almost like because it's 28 days, right? So it's
Yeah.
for 28 years.
Yeah.
So they're the zombie
Wow.
sprinters, right?
Yep.
That's
So I
so
figure if I
Right.
have them in the background, and I just got to get the light just right so that they're rimlit, and then I'm gonna have some fire in the foreground.
All right.
just wild.
Maybe
Maybe.
we'll see.
Maybe. I don't know if I have enough time.
Or I could just I'm just gonna go like this. There you go.
Yeah. Oh wow, he's working. And then just spin through
Yeah.
some menus really fast.
Ray's 3D House of Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've had to do some online edits. It's a nightmare. It terrifies me to navigate a computer when people are watching. Adam, cool. You're doing some highlights right there. That's very fun.
I think I drew him too fast, and I think I did it wrong. So now I'm just trying to render my way out, trying to hide.
You know, that was a fun I in the original film 28 Days Later, and I like that you can see this in the trailer for this, is that it was this juxtaposition of like really beautiful countryside
Yeah.
scenes with the terror of zombies, you know? And it was really great. And I think that's totally like that shot was clearly an allusion to that.
Yeah, I love these beautiful flowers around him.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to move fast so I can get to the flowers because
Yeah, I think that's exactly why I was rushing through things. Good.
like got to get to flowers.
I think in the film, I think they drive through Holland,
Is
which
it
is
tulip season?
yep, yep. I believe, I think that's it. Yeah. I don't think that they say that, but yeah, yeah. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Wow.
So does this movie come out this weekend? Is it already out? Am I
Yeah, it comes out this weekend.
okay?
I think reviews are going to be mixed no matter what, because they 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 messed up on the first sequel, and then I think it's just been, whenever you wait this long for a sequel, it's kind of doomed.
Yep.
Is there a sequel that, and this is a loaded question for y'all, maybe this could be fun. Is there a sequel that took a really long time to come out that lived up to the hype?
I don't
Yes.
What?
I'll say it. I'll say that the recent Blade Runner is better than the original.
Ooh.
No.
And Blade Runner
know. Ray,
is one of my
Ray,
favorite movies
Ray.
of all time.
I used to have this
100%
friend.
Ray.
I used to have this
100
friend. His name was Ray.
No, Ray, I completely agree. Completely.
Oh no, that's not a good sign.
It is. It is. No, the ultimate test is you have virgin eyes on it. And some of those, the pacing, it's not even that it's better. It's just that culture has changed, you know? Like where pacing has changed. Pacing has changed in films dramatically. Not even saying like length of films, but pacing is very different.
Yeah, you're right. It is. And it also depends on like what's your favorite cut of Blade Runner, the original, because it had to go through 87 cuts.
The original.
Mine's is the director. No, the original is kind of what, the one with the voiceover?
Yeah.
Oh, George.
Oh boy.
I
I
saw it in
love
the
this. I
theater when
love
it
this.
came out,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's still the best.
Um,
And I didn't know I wasn't supposed to like the voiceover.
yeah, you're not
I mean,
supposed
I
to.
don't know. I don't even know if I had an opinion on it, but I didn't know that I was supposed to have an opinion on it.
You
Which
have
is
to have an
okay.
opinion on
That
everything.
happens all the time.
Adam, you're supposed to have an
Adam.
opinion on everything now.
No, I
That's
It's
know.
for the stream.
That's
Even if you
the
don't have an
rule.
opinion.
That's the rule. You have to have an opinion. That one, I can't remember the comedian, but he's like, when I was growing up, people had like 4 opinions. And he's like, and now, and he goes, and if you had 7, that meant you were opinionated.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I can't remember who said that, but it's so true. Yeah. I'm trying to think of sequels that, what's really hard is comedy sequels that are better than the first.
Mm.
That's extremely rare.
Mhm.
Ghostbusters, in my opinion, the sequel.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
I don't
Ghostbusters.
You
know.
mean
That's
like
a little
Ghostbusters
reckless.
2?
Yeah, Ghostbusters too.
no.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a reckless opinion.
Sure, it's an
But
opinion.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the swing though, Timmy.
Yeah.
Timmy's just trying to trick me into having an opinion.
Come on, Adam. I know you want an opinion. I know the water
It's
is
right here
warm.
for
Adam,
you.
the water is warm.
Poke, 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 poke.
Your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I'm trying to there was a period where I would just recommend the worst movies to people on purpose so that they watched them. Yeah. I'm trying to remember a good one that I recommended. Oh,
Wow.
no, Mother.
Oh,
The film by what's his name? I'm trying to remember. Like the Passion Project that like nobody liked.
The one with Jennifer Lawrence,
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky. Yeah,
Aronofsky. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I typically don't like his movies. They're just
yeah. I told so
overwhelmingly
many
depressing.
people that it was a comedy.
No, you are a horrible person.
I was like, no, no. I would tell people, I would be like, no, the trailer is like a joke. And they'd be like, what do you mean? I'd be like, it's like, they were like, what if we made a comedy into a scary trailer? And what's funny is the Tim Robinson show movie Friendship came out this year, and the trailer for it is a horror film. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's come full circle.
I'm so gullible. I would have believed you and then like walked
Yeah.
away just being like, what the?
Well, I wanted people to experience what I experienced when I saw it, which
So
was I
you
was
thought it was
like,
a comedy?
no, I was just like, it's Sunday, I want to see a good movie. It was like it was a school night kind of thing. And went and saw that and it was like, oh my God. Yeah. No. Mother, that was the one I went really invested in that prank on. Do you guys have any what do you think is the best sequel? Do you have a favorite sequel? No time constraints on it.
Oh, I have to think about it for a while.
Empire Strikes Back is
oh
definitely a
yeah,
notable sequel.
Yeah.
yeah.
Terminator 2, somebody said that in the crowd. That's a good
Oh yeah, I
Yep.
liked that one better than the first one.
for sure.
Godfather 2 for
Aliens.
me.
Oh,
And
Aliens
Aliens
for sure.
is yeah.
I can't think of a single comedy that the sequel is better.
The Incredibles.
Oh,
Oh, that's a fun one.
Is that really
I
a
thought
comedy though?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's adventure.
It has comedy in it.
Yeah,
I
it's
laughed a
adventure.
lot.
That's adventure with comedy. Yeah. I want like it's the core of the film needs to be comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Timmy. I can't think of any where I mean, because notably, if a comedy gets a sequel, it's usually because the comedy itself was groundbreaking and really fun or funny.
Yeah.
And it's so rare then that it's the follow up is anything other than disappointment.
Though Darren Aronofsky's Mother 2, that's
Oh, you're right. That was hilarious. Fair
It's
point.
a real knee slapper. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, if you search comedy sequel where it's better, Terminator 2 shows up. No, this is the only one that is like kind of close. And it falls into the Incredibles category where it truly at its core is not a comedy, but Evil Dead 2, which
Mm.
is really a horror film that kind of became a comedy.
Hmm,
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing.
Older movie.
I'm gonna at midnight, I'm gonna have all of these things to say, and I can't in this moment because I'm like, I can't remember.
An old
Yeah.
one, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah. I mean, nothing.
Wasn't great, but
Yeah. I love that.
It's like the first
your
one was
example is
great.
like, I'm just going to name a comedy sequel.
no, but I mean, it was as good as the first one. I was like,
Okay.
both of them.
Oof.
I don't know about
It was very
Yeah, I
Hollywood,
can't.
that second window. There was a lot of partying in the making of that movie. You could tell. But people were having a good time, and that's what was great about it.
They're all of the movies that are better are from so long ago when it comes to comedies. Yeah. Naked Gun.
oh, right.
Yeah.
They got a new one coming out.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, I
we've got
saw
a
that.
good. We have a good one. Ace Ventura. I totally agree. The sequel is better than the first.
Nature calls, huh?
Yeah, I'm Nature Calls fan. And somebody said just like Blade Runner. That's pretty funny.
Respect.
That's a pretty funny
Respect that.
line. That person's got taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I respect
There's
that.
a Happy Gilmore sequel coming out this summer on Netflix.
yeah.
That's true. They were driving around my town, like looking for extras.
Did you
Huh.
did you come
Really?
out? Did you chase that car like an ice cream truck?
I just heard rumors. I was working in too many
Uh,
places at all the wrong times,
Yeah.
which is tough because then, when you're a college professor, they kind of want you to have like these braggable, cool things you've done, but all the cool things happen while you're in class.
Oh. So as far as like art, media, books, movies, music, do you guys have any recs of recently?
I don't think I mentioned that I absolutely loved the Pee Wee Herman documentary.
Pee Wee Herman documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
What's
it's
it
worth
called?
saying.
What's it called and where is it?
It's on Max, and I mean, you put Pee Wee Herman in, it'll come up, but it was
Yeah.
just so well done. I really, really loved it.
Yeah.
Ray, did you see it?
We just lost Ray's audio.
Oops, sorry, Ray.
Um uh-oh. Ray's overpowered his computer with the city that he is building.
Yeah, so I had read like things started just slowing down.
Is that exactly?
You're
Yeah,
like, where did you see it? I was, uh-oh, that's not good.
yeah, your city is too big.
I didn't. Yeah. I did not see it, but I do have Max, and I saw it on the list, and I'm like, I got to do that. I got to sit down and
Yeah,
actually watch
you,
it.
you really do. I don't like, it was my childhood, and I've always loved him. And then seeing it as an adult, it made me realize like how much the lowbrow pop surrealism movement kind of moved through like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse's set. And just like, he's a part of the origin because a lot of that started with the tiki art, and that's such a big part of the art. Like,
Yeah.
just the art alone and what was created with it just blew me away.
Yeah.
And just hearing him finally talk about things that he never really talked about before, I just really appreciated that documentary, and I thought it was really, really well done.
Cool. I watched the I won't go into the details of it, but a documentary that I would say don't watch
Oh, I love
was
that. I
the
love that.
just because it wasn't great, it wasn't very well done. Was the Titan uh, documentary on Netflix was really terrible about the submersible.
Oh,
It was just
okay.
really poorly done. It didn't seem like their research was
Do you think
thought
they
out
just
at all.
rushed it?
I think so. I think it was a race to get one out because I'm sure there were other
Yeah.
streamers doing it. But what I thought part of it that was really funny, considering it's not a funny topic, was that there's like a whole segment like they started focusing on Jacques Cousteau. That like for really no reason other than that he's just like an oceanographer. And but they used him as like the North Star for like doing things properly. And I've had the benefit of being around many of the Cousteaus and like hearing Cousteau stories from the Cousteaus. And one of the things they were talking about was they just mentioned him very briefly. They're like everything they did was always proper. There was like testing, there was a system for it. And then I'm thinking about I remember I got to have one day I was at Jean-Michel, Jacques' son. I was at his childhood home and there was a pool in the backyard. And if you swam into the pool, it was a really small man-made, like they made it back in the 20s. And it was tiled, it was really beautiful. And it was in the side of a hill. And this is before their family had money or anything. So his dad dug it out. And it was you could swim down and they'd cut out a hole in the hill and you could look out this glass bubble he had installed from that he had pulled off of a ship and you could see the ocean. It was amazing, right?
That's
It was so
insane.
cool, right? And in the glass bubble, there's this crack that went across the whole thing, right? And I saw it and I like asked Jean Michel, I was like, why is there a crack in the bubble? And he goes, oh, when I was a kid, my dad, the war was happening and my dad found a grenade and he wanted to see what would happen if he threw it in the pool. And I'm like, oh yeah. It's
Well, so many
real,
people don't
real,
really know that Cousteau helped design, create the
yeah.
aqualung,
Yeah, yeah. And
right?
that was the other thing where I was like, these two guys might have more in common than you think, because Cousteau, who tested out his aqua lung were his children.
I mean, it's enough time's gone by that's like somebody you have to tell people who he is now too.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, John, that's why I get on you guys about it is because like when my dad met him, he was one of the most famous people in the world, and now the only reason I think I know who he is because of my dad. Like none of my friends know who he is at all.
Well, and the funny thing is
Yeah.
that they know the voice on SpongeBob,
Yeah.
and it's a takeoff on Cousteau, but no one knows
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. The closest it came to being like a pop culture, like staying in the zeitgeist, because it's just not in the zeitgeist anymore, was it's still a really long time ago, but was The Life Aquatic.
Yeah, yeah,
Um and unfortunately, they didn't embrace that. They weren't particularly happy. But that happens whenever you have like kind of a disjointed legacy. French guys like to have mistresses and stuff.
yeah.
And that can mess up a legacy. That can really throw a wrench in things. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I did not steer clear of that documentary, long story short.
Well, I think one of the reasons they may have made the leap to Cousteau is because of I can't remember the name of it, the yellow submarine they had.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just wasn't a good example. They had accidents all the time.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't a good. It was just like why? It was just literally like I get it. The producer that made this knows nothing about the topic and is just grabbing onto stuff.
yeah.
Um, and it's just like I don't know, put the French guy in it. Yeah, it was really bad. and I sat through the whole thing. Didn't look at my phone, just stared at the TV. uh, any books, any music, anything lately that you guys have been? George, you're like a voracious reader.
Well, I'm reading the new King book. There was a really good book on Winslow Homer that came out about a year ago that I got into. I've got a big fat book, uh, hit a biography of Monet that I haven't jumped into yet. Um, what else?
When it comes to nonfiction, do you try to find things that are public? Like, do you pick up old nonfiction often?
I can. There's a couple of really good. Well, there's a really good used bookstore in
Yeah.
Sarasota. Um,
Do you know? I guess what I mean, like, it feels like to me sometimes the shelf life of nonfiction can be shorter.
yeah. But I love books. I mean, I'll get histories. I'll get
Yeah.
books on. I'll tell you a great book, and it's pretty old now. Is Dueling Neurosurgeons. That was a great book, and yeah. I mean, it sounds lame, but
No, it sounds it
it's
sounds
really
intense.
good, and and they get into all this amazing stuff, and it's really
Yeah.
cool because it's where they're sort of figuring things out finally about like, you know, uh, like how to help people with phantom pain after they've lost a limb and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And they get into all this really cool stuff in there.
Is that what like the mirror box?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah,
Have you guys ever heard of that?
Hmm.
So if you're familiar with, for those of you who are not familiar with phantom pain, it's like if you lose your hand in an accident or maybe just surgically, you can experience sensations and pain
Mm-hmm.
in the
like
hand
it's
that was
still
once there.
there.
And they'll use and it could be chronic pain. And
Yeah,
even though it's not there, and what they can do is they can they'll create a box in this test. I don't know if it's really for physical therapy or not, but you put your hand in the box and then there's an empty part of the box on the other side where your other hand would be if you had it. And they use a series of mirrors that trick your brain into believing you have both hands.
yeah.
And the pain, people describe the pain immediately just going away, just evaporating because they see that the
Wow.
hand is not injured. It just shows you like how powerful the brain is, you know?
I
Yeah.
remember one version of hearing that, Timmy, was that specifically somebody was talking about their hand being like clutch, like it
Uh-huh.
felt like the phantom hand was like this, and they used that mirror trick, and so to trick this hand into thinking it was the other one, and then the guy just said let go, and the
Yeah.
guy just let go of the hand, and then immediately told him, I've got instant relief from symptoms. Yeah, totally tricked his brain in the right way.
That's wild.
That was a big part of me getting over chronic back pain is like talking about pain, my relationship with pain.
Mm.
There's a book about it, but they talk about it's the idea of it's fascinating. I would imagine that a lot of artists deal with chronic pain because of you know the stationary positions you find yourselves in. I don't know.
Bad posture.
Do you guys deal with that or no?
Yeah,
Used to.
Neck and
And then I
shoulder
started
pains, yeah.
exercising.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to stay in shape if you're gonna be an artist for a long period of
yeah,
time.
growing
At
injuries.
least I have to, because otherwise, yeah, it's really crippling.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's tough. I wouldn't wish it on anything.
Or anybody.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe a couple of people, but not really. No.
Yeah, I say that. And then those intrusive thoughts. Yeah, a nice little internal curse. Yeah. Man, I think the zombie is gonna clean up tonight. Everybody, this is the 5-minute warning on this last image, and then I'm going to tell you to post.
You hear that, Roy?
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh
You
no.
have 5 minutes
Final countdown.
to build this city. George,
Yeah.
whoa, that's looking awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Man.
that's epic, man.
It looks better on the
If you
screen.
could switch my title
Recorded
card.
there.
Yeah. That's awesome. You think you'll keep working on it when we end drawing tonight? Or do you
No.
no? You done? Yeah. Somebody will be going through the trash at John's house like a raccoon. There'll be a drawing hive. Drawing hive listener. Yeah.
So this is like second or, well, I guess third, fourth zombie I've ever done.
This is my first.
Really?
Yeah.
Just based on the first image alone, I would have assumed you've done way more zombies.
Yeah.
No. I got hit up to do that Nazi zombie for that for Chris Williams way back for his
Yeah.
his Kickstarter for a comic, and I had never drawn a zombie before.
When are we going to see what John's drawn?
Yeah, it's looking really cool.
He's gonna have to toss it in front of George's at some
I'll
point.
put it in front of George's. I'm drawing a drawing horse. Here, kind of old school.
I was gonna say, yeah, is it one of the old Academy horses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks
Man.
fantastic.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Keep mine covered up.
Hold it there for 1 second. Cool.
Oh, I
Nice.
love it, John.
Thanks. Oh man, yours is awesome. George,
right.
my favorite thing George used to say to me when we'd be leaving, we'd get done with a pose at drawing. He goes, "Oh man, John, that's really great, for you."
Adam, there's something very funny about your drawing where it's like, it feels like he's like, I got you a flower.
Yeah. That's what I'm feeling. It's like, wait, it's time already?
Yeah. All right. I'm excited. Oh man, I'm getting the Instagram set up.
It's gonna be awesome.
Some pretty wild stuff. I'm excited for this one. It's gonna be some good fireworks.
All right.
And I'm gonna confirm that zombie, I think, won.
Oh, it has to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson. The pretty boy star he's gonna be pretty hurt if he sees this hashtag. He's gonna be like, but I'm the star. But I thought I was the star. Yeah. Some good stuff here. Everybody, please start posting your work. It's hashtag Drawing Hive 255, hashtag Drawing Hive and Visual Arts Passage. Post it now. Don't wait. We are going to head over to Instagram in a couple minutes. And before we do that, I did have art news for tonight if it was going to be a lull. We didn't really have a good lull, so I it's rolling over until next week. But one art news that I'm going to burn that we can fully burn because I think it's going to be old news by next week is man breaks
Yes.
crystal encrusted Van Gogh
Yeah,
chain in
I
the
almost
Italian
sent it,
Museum.
and I was like, he's already seen it. He doesn't need to.
Cassandra, you know how many people sent this to me this week?
I bet a ton. I knew not to. I was like, he's got plenty.
Yeah, it's so old. That's why I'm sharing it now because like 10 people sent it to me, which I appreciate every one of you sending it to me. But yeah, some idiot tried to sit on this chair in the museum and crushed it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
To
all on
take
CC.
selfies, to take selfies.
Yeah, it's on, and you know what? It's not the generation that does selfies. That's what made me even more mad. I was like, this is y- i- looking at it. Okay, I'm going to generalize. You're like, those photos were going straight to Facebook. If I were to guess, if I were to guess what platform those people were going to post it to, it was going to be Facebook. Yeah. Basically, I'm saying they look like they're in their 50s ish.
I was just hoping they weren't American. I was hoping
Yeah.
you can hear to do it.
Yeah.
was it?
It was pretty, the CCTV footage is infuriating.
I don't know, like the article I read didn't mention where they were from.
No. Yeah.
They're from Richmond.
They were- yeah. Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Like, please don't be us.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I can't leave people hanging. I mean, they fled the museum. I do know that.
Wow.
So I don't know. What do you do? I mean, I mean, fleeing I'm not going to argue for any of the choices up until that moment, but fleeing the museum completely makes sense in that situation.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they did that makes sense.
I mean, all around, a lot of poor decision making. We can
Yeah.
start with that.
Did they get him? Did they catch him?
No, the two main suspects remain unidentified. So unless some other news article has revealed who they are as of like 3 days ago,
Wow.
it looks. I mean, they're definitely going to. I mean, it's going to be. They were in a building with like the most cameras. You know, I
On
mean,
the planet, you know.
it'll
And
just
the
be
pictures
so.
are posted of them. Someone knows who they are.
Yeah, it'll be pretty easy to figure out who they are, and I bet they get scared enough that they, because they're just no. It's not like they're like art thieves, like they're probably in the process of turning themselves in if they haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're leaving the
Single
country,
representation.
which I would also say leaving the country makes sense. I, I disagree with the crime, but I agree with the extraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what are you gonna do about it? Yeah. Nice stuff. All right. Let me get the stream ready. And I do want to just remind everybody, classes are enrolling. So if you want to take your work to the next level or learn about making this a career, you can. Go check it out at visualartspassage.com.
It's awesome.
It is.
Here we go. Here we go. Right on time. Okay. We made it. You guys ready to see some art?
Woo, yes.
Yeah.
Look at how many zombies are.
Oh my gosh, it's just so fun.
It really is like a zombie hive.
Are we
It's
gonna have to
great.
have like a zombie night in October, just of different?
Oh yeah, we should do a
now?
zombie night. It's just all zombies. I
Yeah.
like it. Good stuff,
Ooh.
Randy.
Nice, Randy.
Nice,
Nice.
Randy.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
Ooh,
Oh,
AJ.
Oh,
AJ,
yeah, that's great.
Oh,
you
nice.
dang.
That's
Nice,
fun.
Oh,
Julian.
that's so cool, Julian.
An hour late
That's
too.
awesome.
Nice.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Great
Nice.
job.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Nice, George.
really good line work.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
That's cool
Great
paper.
job.
Bluey. You see Bluey hopping over the
Great job.
Oh man, awesome.
Ooh,
Nice.
Marcy, that's
Love
fun.
that.
See, that's
That is
great.
Awesome,
Marcy.
I
Marcy.
love how you did the nose.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that is so great.
That's fun. I love it.
Yes, I
Yes.
love the continuation of this piece.
Wow.
It's growing.
Fantastic.
Great stuff, Gerald. Oh, fun.
There we
Ooh, that's
go.
cool, Xander.
Xander.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Nice.
wow,
Wow,
Peter.
Pete.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Oh, lovely.
That's awesome.
dang
Uh,
it.
Very
So good.
Wow.
So good.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's nice, George. Great.
really nice.
I love that.
Oh, great job, Danny.
That's awesome.
That's a really good drawing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Wow, Gary.
It's great, Gary.
Beautiful. Look at
Jeez.
the hand. Did you see
Uh-huh.
hands above it?
Oh,
Robert.
Robert.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Always wow.
Oh man.
Really nice. Rafe is coming up for, close second here.
Oof.
Great
Ooh.
job. Really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Ooh.
love that, Sally. I love what you did.
That's
with that.
awesome.
Flowers.
That's
Yes.
so cool.
Are those pressed? That's so cool.
That
Yeah.
is so cool. Ooh,
28
that's
years.
cool.
28 years later is what it feels like. That's like what it feels like how long we've been doing this show. Yeah.
Great job.
Nice.
Awesome. Welcome to the Hive, man. Good stuff. Oh, cool.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's really neat.
nice.
Great job.
Love it.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Lovely.
Karen, that's lovely.
Nice, Karen.
Oh, I love how you did that.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Really nice.
Awesome. Nice,
Virgie.
Virgie. Killing it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks,
Friend of the
George.
show.
Got a lot done. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh,
Yes.
Bork doodly.
That's awesome.
Lovely. Just lovely.
Thanks, Michelle.
Oh, I love that expression. Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey,
The
Yeah, it
musical.
is, right?
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Awesome stuff.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's lovely. Love the softness of it.
Oh, whoa.
Oh.
That's cool.
Very
I like how you interpreted that a lot.
color.
Oh, great color
Nice,
palette
Andy.
there. Nice, Terry.
Oh, nice, Terry. Great movement in him.
Oh,
Oh, nice,
Chuck.
Chuck.
Oh, wow.
Yuck.
Wow.
Just like that.
Wow.
That's
Fantastic.
Oof.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Love it.
Thanks,
Great
Andy.
expression.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fun. I love that. Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love it, Paul.
Ooh.
Nice.
Terry.
They got a whole clan.
Really?
They've got a whole clan drawing.
Yeah.
That's a
there.
fantastic profile there.
That's
Yeah, it
great.
really is.
That's hard.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yes.
Really nice.
Yeah. That's like handsome
flowers.
Squidward.
Flowers have to be there.
Reminds me of handsome Squidward. Love it.
Oh, really nice.
Thanks, Michelle.
Nice.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's
Got it
cool.
all on one sheet, even the
Cool.
skulls.
I love how
Mhm.
you did that.
Good stuff, Terry.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is lovely, Terry.
The tulips.
Nice, Jeff.
Jeff.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
Great work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, everyone had a good night. So
Yeah,
good,
seriously.
everyone.
Yeah.
Love it.
Even the zombie's starting to
Cody.
feel better about himself.
Yeah.
Dang, that's good.
Yeah, this has got to be an ego boost for a zombie guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Pretty, so
Yeah.
pretty.
Aren't you so
Oh.
pretty?
Oh, nice.
Oh man. Ralph Fiennes got yoked this year, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It's like this and Odysseus, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's shredded.
That's cool, Valerie. That's a really
Like-
good drawing.
People back then
That's
didn't know how to
fun.
work out traps like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't think they had machines that activated rhomboids.
Great job.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, appropriate name for that. Did you see his name is Corpse Fluid? That's like
Yes.
totally appropriate for night.
Yes. Perfect.
Great job.
Nice. Nice.
Ooh, that's nice. Nice.
Ooh, that's
But,
cool.
yeah.
Nice stuff. Welcome to the club. Where's my shirt?
Nice.
That's
Very
amazing.
funny. Very funny. Ralph Fiennes stole
Really
it. There we
nice.
go.
Nice.
That's a great
Nice,
job.
Terry.
That's
That's
love your
funny.
color palette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ooh.
Some good stuff tonight. A lot of people
Done.
joined.
Yeah. Y'all showed up.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
That was nice
That's fun.
too.
Ooh.
Oh, I
Jeff.
love that, Jeff.
Wow.
That's
Love
awesome.
that. Really nice.
Milosh, nice.
Great job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's
Cool.
fun.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Nice.
Oh, cool.
Ooh,
Nice,
Nicole.
nice.
Cool.
That's fun.
Great.
That's great.
Nice.
Great job.
Nice. Young drawer. Welcome.
Oh, great.
Welcome. Yeah.
Ooh, you
That's
made it like a
fun.
3D experience. I love
love
it.
it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
Yeah, what
cool,
version of
Bella.
Blender is that?
Dang.
How many people are at that house? Yeah. It's like a clown car, but with illustrators.
But amazing drawings.
Yeah.
Terry, you got so much done.
Yes. You
Great
have
Yeah,
job.
seriously.
Nice stuff. Oh, here we go. The comic.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
fantastic.
This is awesome.
technical.
Nice.
Nice, Nicole. Bluey. Where's Bluey? Bluey.
It's like a zombie Bluey.
I just always would love
Thank you,
to
Efren, for that. I
whatever
needed it.
ad agency got hired to like promote 28 years later on Instagram. I just always hope they see the Bluey thing first and they're like, what's happening?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Really
great
nice.
stuff. Awesome.
Thanks, Nicole.
Oh,
Oh, you
it's
like
fun.
that one, Nicole.
Yes.
Showing the full-bodied zombie is hilarious.
So he's shirtless and pantless. That's what we're
It
deciding.
really he feels embarrassed.
Yes.
He's like, oh,
Ooh,
where are my
that's lovely.
tulips? What happened to my tulips? Oh, awesome. That's cool.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, that's a great one to end on. Everybody, what a fun
Awesome.
night.
Yes.
George,
Fun.
what a treat it was to have you, George. Seriously.
Thank you all.
That was
was good.
awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
George.
What a great night.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good,
Have a great
everyone.
week.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next week. Bye,
ya.
everybody.
Oh.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Can't figure out how to end this fucking thing. I don't want to work on it anymore.
Want me to hit end? Oh.
Night.